be back in clinic. We'll throw it out for questions.
As you're evaluating quarterbacks, how much are you factoring the results Saturday in Columbus versus this week in practice versus what you've seen cumulatively before?
I mean, there really wasn't much good Saturday, just in general, no matter who was in there. So, that's everything's part of the evaluation to answer the question, whether it's practice, what we saw Saturday, and then, things in the past. So we'll just keep pushing forward. And it's not like we have a scientific formula. We'll just see how the week plays out.
With your decision, do you anticipate whichever direction you go that person will be in there, not necessarily looking over their shoulder, or do you think there'll be some sort of rotation or something?
Well, no, we're not planning on a rotation at this point, but anything's possible. I'm not going to rule it out, but preferably wouldn't want to do that, and then preferably whoever starts, hopefully they're not looking over their shoulder, but we also have to get it going offensively and show some production too. So hopefully whoever's in there can help us do that. That's a team goal, and there's a balancing act that goes on with that, because you don't want to make a decision based on one play, something like that. But we'll just kind of make a decision and ride with it for a little bit.
Going back to the game last Saturday, you said with judging Alex's performance, it was kind of tough just considering the circumstances. His last appearance before then was very similar in the Big Ten Championship, the second half, big deficit. Does that make it, more difficult to evaluate how much progress he's made in his last two times out there?
Yeah, and I've said the same thing about Spencer too. So it's complicated. And when you evaluate any player, running backs, anybody, it's pretty much. There are a lot of circumstances and things around what their responsibility is that factor into things. So, if there's no hole for a running back to run through, chances are not going to look good unless it's Barry Sanders, which I do remember the first time I saw him run up in there. I can't tell you who they were playing. They were playing Nebraska. That's who it was. It was on a tape, and the hole wasn't there. Looked like 1 yard gain. All of a sudden he bounced it out and made about 12 around the left side. So that's something I'll remember my entire life. Some Oklahoma State coaches were visiting us, but basically everything affects everything, and for a quarterback play, it's really complex. So it's not, just a simple equation. Unless the guy's out there just humming, but usually if a guy's humming, usually means he's getting good teamwork and good help around him too. And there's a lot that goes into good quarterback play, just like every position.
At what point this week would you like to have that decision made of who's QB1?
Yeah, we really haven't made a decision yet, and today's a big work day for us. Tomorrow's a big work day, so we're not going to do anything between now and then. We'll see how we feel coming off the field, and maybe take it to Friday. We'll see.
Does the sense of urgency change when you're on a losing streak?
I hope not. I hope everybody has a sense of urgency, purpose, whatever. I prefer to call it purpose, but. That's something we try to encourage all of our players to have each and every time we're practicing, whether it's a light workout or a heavy work day like today. Because I think if you're going to get something accomplished, you better have something on your mind you're trying to get done. So I don't think it changes. I hope it doesn't change, but I can just tell you this: one thing that doesn't change too is losing. Losing just doesn't feel good. It affects you. There's nothing good about it, and. I can say the converse about winning. Everything's pretty good when you're winning. So, hopefully our guys, hopefully everybody involved in this organization is tired of losing. It's not fun.
Kirk, at this stage of the season, how often do your ones go against your ones?
Not a lot.
How hard does that make it to evaluate?
We're still going against good players. We'll go ones against twos, and let the guys compete pretty hard. We did some of that this morning. We'll do it tomorrow again. So, you can evaluate players. It's not. Even against air, sometimes, it can be telling. Not that it's competitive, but just how guys operate and how they do things.
When you look at the offensive line, I assume you're young, they're green, you've had that happen before, and then you've seen some growth, and then they've taken leaps.
Yep.
Have they been able to make enough growth to where you think that, okay, a leap is coming, or is it just kind of stagnated at a few positions?
It's a little bit of a mixed bag to that point. And I thought we made strides a couple of weeks ago. I said that after whatever game it was, game 4 or 5. I thought we made some real strides, and then stalled out a little bit the last time out. Then we had a bye, and then last week was a tough outing, and so we'll see how we bounce back this week. The guys are practicing well. I do think we're seeing improvement on the field day to day, and so we'll just keep pushing forward and. I wish I could give you an exact answer when it's going to happen or a timetable, but I'm confident. Well, guys are working hard. They got good attitudes, and they're good young people. So, you know, we're going to get there. It's just a matter of, you know, sooner would be greater than later. That's for sure.
When you look at Connor in particular, he was very young playing inside last year. Now very young playing outside. Seemed to have really struggled this year. I think the other day was probably not a day he'll want to remember.
Right.
Do you look at him maybe moving back inside, maybe because of a confidence, or do you want to keep him out there and just let him take his lumps and then?
Yeah, he actually played inside some later in the game the other day, and I think one of the takeaways, if you look at the first third down we had, you know, he didn't get out well, and that's something he struggled a little bit. And it's a technique thing. It's not ability or mental. And my takeaway on that would be, you know, that's really been improving in practice. Like, we've been seeing improvement. Been focused on that. He's been focused on it. He's been working on it. And then Saturday, you know, that first third down, it didn't happen for him. So, you know, as a coach, that's our job to figure that out and say, you know, maybe this isn't the time for it, because it's not happening the way it needs to happen under game circumstances. Going back to the point of, you know, competition and, you know, live work versus you know, lower tempo work. So, yeah, we're definitely, you know, looking at that and considering that. And that's our job, is get guys in the best possible positions and ask them to do things they can be successful at. So, yeah, we're definitely looking at that.
I didn't see Jennings dunk around the two deeps. Is that injury related?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He wasn't there last week. I guess we probably should announce that. But he had an injury. He's not sure when it happened or how it happened. I know it happened on the football field. So I guess maybe that's a good sign. But anyway, so he's got something that's going to hold him out another couple of weeks probably.
Arlen talked about holding guys accountable on the offense, being hard on each other. Have you noticed that in practice, and how is it possible to hold guys on the offense accountable while still supporting them, kind of balancing holding accountable with not, you know, you don't want to be Mr. Nice Guy?
Sure. I mean, you know, we all have expectations. That's part of being a team, and you know, we've agreed on what as a team, players and coaches, you know, what we think the standards are and what we need to be doing. So. That's what you're striving to do, and you can be, you know, hold each other accountable. There's nothing wrong with that, and still be supportive of each other too. And it's kind of like a family. You know, families argue and quarrel typically, and you know, first time I agreed with my wife too much about her side of the family, I learned a really important lesson. You know, don't be too agreeable. But anyway, yeah, don't state the obvious. But yeah, so you can do both. I think that's one thing that's really shown true with our guys. You know, they're close with each other. They care about each other. But they'll tell it like it is too.
You remember